working masses and the youth. So we are going to two part on protest we hold according to the following schedule. We are announcing our takeoff point to be Ikeja under bridge in Lagos State, and the time is 7 a.m. I repeat, the takeoff point for us is Ikeja under bridge in Lagos State, and the time is 7 a.m. Our cardinal demands are this: one, we are calling for the reversal of fuel price to pre-May 29, 2023 level. We are demanding a reversal of electricity tariff to pre-May 29, 2023 level. We are demanding end to hardship and hunger. We are demanding recall of all victimized activists. Free all NSAS detainees, many of whom are still in detention 4 years after. We are demanding end to school fee hike for study grants and not loans. We are calling for the placement of all political office holders on the minimum wage. We are calling for the reversal of all anti-poor and neoliberal capitalist policies. We are demanding the fixing of public refineries, the building of new ones under democratic workers' control and management. We are demanding the reversal of all privatization of public enterprises and their placement under democratic control and management. We are demanding end to insecurity, police brutality and kidnapping across the country. We are saying no to illegal demolition and forced eviction in Lagos State as well as elsewhere across the country. We are demanding the creation of decent jobs and payment of unemployment benefit to those who are unemployed. We are demanding the prosecution of all corrupt politicians and the return of all stolen wealth. We are demanding an end to security votes, free quality education and health care for all. We are demanding end to attacks on press freedom and the release of all political detainees, including journalists and bloggers. These are more our cardinal demands. We repeat once again that the protest is a peaceful one. Therefore, we warn anyone coming with the intention to foment violence, including arson and destruction, to stay clear of the protest. We also want the police, the DSS and security agencies not to deploy their agents to infiltrate our protest with the aim of fomenting trouble in order to blame it on us later. Now, some have asked whether all of Nigeria's problem will be solved by this protest. Many have said that it will take more than 10 days of protest to solve the socio-economic ills plaguing our nation. We agree with all these arguments, but we think that this protest is a first and necessary step in that direction. This is because it has become clear over the years that no section of Nigeria's capitalist ruling elite has the solution to the problems plaguing Nigeria. This time, the solution has to come from the Nigerian masses themselves, which is why during this protest, Nigerian youth and poor masses must have the necessary democratic discussion about what kind of Nigeria we want. For us in this coalition, we consider that the fundamental problem plaguing Nigeria is capitalism, a socio-economic system that makes a few people rich at the expense of the mass majority. This is why this coalition calls for system change. That is a new Nigeria where the wealth of the country will be used primarily to make life better for its people instead of enriching a few. I thank you very much for your rapt attention. Thank you.
Comments. Okay, the next item on the agenda after the reading of the post-it is question and contribution. And so I would like to take first questions from the journalists that are here, and before we move to colleagues who are here who also want to make contributions. So, if you have a question, please can you raise up your hand? Question. All right. One. You're one. Any other person? Oh. All right. Let's start with you, sir. Please introduce yourself for the.
Hello. My name is Isha Ibrahim. I write for The Niche. The first question I wanted to ask has been answered by Comrade Soweto, which is whether there was a time any broad agreement was reached with those people withdrawing from the protest, because by implication, it means that there was an initial agreement. So when they were withdrawing for something, you assume that they were part of the agreement. So I wanted to ask that question, but you answered it, that there was no such. But my second question is reversal of electricity, no, not reversal of fuel price to pre-May 29, 2023 level. The government has argued that that will bankrupt the country, that what we're having now is the best that can be offered at the moment. So would you concede if, for instance, the government meets you halfway by saying, let's even reduce the price by somewhere between 400 to 500 naira?
All right. Let's
My name is Lebi Joseph. I write for Galaxy TV. Going for protests, right? But how are you going to ensure that miscreants, hoodlums, don't hijack this thing in the process of the protest? Because that is the fear of the ordinary Nigerians, not about government. But how do you ensure that this protest is not hijacked and the innocent people can be harassed?
all right. Any other question? Okay, let's answer those two first before we move on. Comments?
Yes, thank you so very much. The first question from Mitch basically centered on the possibility of getting the nation bankrupt if subsidy is returned, right? It is very, very simple. There is nowhere where individuals, politicians are richer than the nation. So, we call on the president as a senior activist to lead by example. Return all Nigeria's wealth in your possession and tell all others who have become to APC because they have corruption cases to return all the money and reflect the economy of the nation. It's very, very simple. You see, very few of them, they corner all the resources. They borrow money. We don't see what they use the money to do. They commit the nation's resources against loans. What do they use these loans for? They pocket it. Let them return it. Let the president, as the leader of the nation, start it. Return all the wealth of the nation in your possession. And you know where all others keep their own. Return it and refloat the economy. And Nigeria will be better for all of us. Thank you. On the issue of the protest being hijacked, we are veterans in activism. The president himself knows he's a senior activist. So they should not send their hoodlums into our ranks. We are very, very peaceful, law-abiding citizens. All we are asking for is right to decent living. That's all. So if their hoodlums are okay with palliatives, let them stay with their palliatives. Let them live well. Don't come into our ranks and you will not see violence. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. It may be difficult to reverse fuel price to the May 2023 level because of corruption in the government, because of the process of making petrol product available in Nigeria is on the basis of profits, super profit for a few. That's why they ran aground Nigeria refineries. If fuel price is reversed, what will happen is that the quantum of loot that Tinubu and other members of political elites usually loot will be reduced. What they don't want to forgo is that quantum of loot. Because if you collect the reversal of fuel price has led to the increment in the money they shared every month, but that has not translated into improvement in living standards, into better pay for any Nigerian workers. They continue to loot resources. They continue to live low-rent lifestyle. They spend almost 100 billion naira to purchase exchange cards for themselves at National Assembly. And of course, when the National Assembly members were queried about that action, they said even the ministers, they only got one SUV. Ministers have 3 each. That tells you that money they claim they have saved are being used to finance obscene opulent lifestyle of this lucrative elite. Then of course, one, the refineries are not working because both is a publicly owned, but it is a base of to make it available to be looted by individuals appointed by the successive governments. So what we call for is this: that the refineries will be made to work, new ones will be built, but there has to be democratic management and control of those refineries in order to avoid the debacle of refineries being run because of the greed, to finance greed and public interest of a few. That's what we call. If that is done, there will not be problem in reversing the fair price. We also call for the price control for all the products being produced by Dangote refinery and other private refineries. So it's possible to reverse without corrupting the economy. Now the question of people being hijacked, as Komiloye rightly said, if you observe, because we are part of the all of us are part of the SARS movement, we know that nothing happened, or the government sent their hoodlum talks, that are missed. And of course, it started with one guy called Osha at Alausa. The guy was captured live, captured with Pr0test, live, and nothing happened to him. He was one that led thugs that came to attack us at Alausa. The same thing, there was no violence or the steady reign terror of protesters at Lekki. Therefore, I'm also, those who call hoodlums are victims of the bad governance that we are fighting against. It's not because they are hoodlum because of their own choice. They are hoodlum because society has made them made them as such. We don't call them hoodlums. They are part of people who are protesting because we want to make a better living condition for all of us. They are hoodlum because of failure of governance, failure of the ruling elite, and the part of process of ensuring that the system that make them the hoodlum is no longer possible. Thank you. Thank you, the media.
Thank you so much, everyone. I just wanted to respond to the question about how the protest will be protected from being hijacked. I want to say that the conversation around the right to protest or not at this point in our nationhood is an embarrassment. And the fact that something that is constitutionally guaranteed, such as the right to free expression, to gather and assemble, is causing such, division in the ranks of government is a shame and embarrassment. This is to state that at no time was the protest about hoodlums or hijacking or any criminal activities. This protest started as a result of the dissatisfaction of citizens with the state of the country. It started as a result of the acute hunger in society. It started as a result of the disillusionment that has covered every aspect of our lives as Nigerians. And there was never a time in the discussion that citizens talked about guns or criminals or anything. The conversation was simple. We have to make our grievances known to the state and to state authorities and the government. And it is a right that is protected by the Constitution. The only time we began to hear hijacking and how the protest might turn wrong was from the state itself. The state has largely contributed to the kind of narratives that we have seen currently, to the tension that is building up currently for something as basic as the right of citizens to engage their representatives. So we reject any discussion that criminalizes that basic act, that citizens cannot protest, cannot engage arms of government, cannot speak truth to power. And if we are going to talk about how not to hijack, how for not criminals to hijack the protest, I think that the question at this point should be directed at the Inspector General of Police. They have a fundamental right to offer protection to citizens. It is their obligation. We have come out to say that, citizens have come out to say that they want to engage the government, which is constitutionally guaranteed. At this point, we need to also begin to ask the Inspector General of Police, what are the instruments and mechanisms that they have put down to ensure that this protest does not turn violent by people who are determined to change the narrative. In fact, if I would advise them, the last protest we had a few months ago saw the policemen sharing biscuits and water. Very human police. We never knew our police could be human. If they could share biscuits and water, I am sure a lot of people are very hungry in this country, and they will come out to the protest hungry. Maybe they should bring a lot of biscuits and water again, while also maintaining that obligation to protect citizens from people who have threatened to hijack. Last time, citizens appreciated them for that singular human act of providing water to the needy. At this point, we need to begin to ask security agencies what the mechanisms. I'm so happy that the Inspector General of Police has directed his men across all states of the country to offer maximum protection to citizens who are going to come out to march peacefully. Now we want to ask them, what are those mechanisms? What are they put in place? How are they going to identify those people? Because we are now going to put our lives in their hands. Our lives have always been in their hands. So we are coming out peacefully and asking that the Inspector General of Police and his men across the states do what is constitutionally right, which is to protect the lives of citizens under their control. There's a social contract that they must live up to, and the social contract is that state authorities and security officials must offer protection and safeguard the rights of citizens to exist peacefully.
Your name, please. Your name. Speak up. Your name.
Zikora Ibe.
Good morning once again, gentlemen of the press. As for the as for the first question, asking if the fuel price could be reverted back to pre-May, and if it would be possible because of its implications on the economy. What I would say is to buttress Comrade Pr0test point that what is affecting the nation is actually capitalism. Capitalists are money conscious and profit oriented. All they think about is their selfish interests. If not, our common wealth is enough to sustain this nation. And as for the second question about how to protect the protest from being hijacked, it is government-sponsored agents that have been raising the tension so far. And we are law-abiding citizens, and we have the constitutional right to stage a protest, in as much as we are not comfortable with what is happening in the country recently. So I would, but even at that, you wouldn't expect us to be attacked and just continue to look like a zombie. There will be a form of resistance from us. So if they don't come to attack, there will be no resistance. That's all I have to say, because the police have the right to protect us, and even the DSS that are releasing contradictory statements, trying to trying to raise tension instead of calming the situation. They have the right to protect us. They are being paid by taxpayers' money, so their right is to protect us. Their work, their duty is to protect us. So they should discharge their duties well by playing the function they are being employed for, which is protection of citizens. So I will stop here. My name is Thomas Abiodun Olamide.
All right, comments. In addition to that, I know journalists can also remember that Philippe Silva told us that the sum of $2.7 billion, and not say 2.7 million, $2.7 billion was invested in Dangote's refinery. I hope you are aware. If such huge amount of money is available in the coffers of Nigeria, then such amount of money could have established over 15 refineries across Nigeria and resuscitate the existing ones. And so it means that Nigeria has money. It's not that Nigeria does not have money. It's about the mismanagement of the ruling elite of Nigeria. All right, comments. And do you have further questions? Questions? Do you have further questions? Okay, comments that wants to make contribution. Contributions from comments. Comments? Any contribution? Contribution?
The point to make is that the country is down now, and the economy is down, everything is in crisis, and the trade union movement cannot stand aloof. This same thing we are talking about, the protest not being hijacked by hoodlums and the rest. Don't forget, just 3 months ago, the president of the NLC was attacked in Imo. Nobody has been prosecuted. Who were those who attacked him? They were state agents under the watch of the Nigerian police in Imo State. He was almost killed. So when they talk about violence, the fact is that often the case, it is government and its agents that have instigated violence. So that is why, and the members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress are equally more affected by this crisis of the economy. So that is why they cannot stand aloof. They have a duty to the Nigerian people, to Nigerian workers, and to Nigerian people to come out and back the Nigerians who are struggling and we are protesting. And that's why, from the campaign for democratic and workers' rights, we are calling on the leadership of the NLC and the TUC to back this mass movement with a warning strike. And that warning strike should be either 24 hours or 48 hours. That is a notice to the ruling elite that they cannot stand that. I mean, they cannot sit down and watch why things are going this bad. Nigeria is so abundantly blessed. Nobody can tell us any stories. We have the resources. All we need to do is to manage that resources democratically to meet the needs of everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, good evening of the press. Well, this is a direct question to the Mr. President. I mean, this year of folk in a few days shows that we have irresponsible people for our government. Imagine the president giving a directive yesterday that the NLPC should sell crude oil to Kitanguti at in Naira. To tell you all these deals that we go bankrupt is things that is not reality. They are just only looking a way to capitalize themselves and make themselves to stay in the system. And the system is not belong to few, it's a system of all. If we can have the crude oil and it can be sold in Naira and the refinery is here, we can produce our consumption, then we should be able to fix the price without going bankrupt. It means that they are not, they were not telling the populace about the transaction that exists between the NLPC and the importation, whatever they were doing. So they should save this. People are now, under exposed people to more of those evil things they were doing. Imagine Mr. President the directive that rice should be sold for 40,000 yesterday. Many things that many policies that they say is impossible. They are bringing it to highlight at the front of the struggle. It tells you that the masses has to write, because if you don't write against your oppressor, they will never retreat from what they were doing. Because they believe somebody must be a slave, and for you not to be a slave in your society, you must be outstanding and outspoken. You must tell the government whenever they were wrong that no, we are not slaves, we are member and citizen of this country, and we protect our interests. Because if you don't fight for yourself, and which will not fight for you. Their capital they are so conscious of their investments, and they want to look at their children to come and take off from them. So I'm urging the populace. No matter what the motivation may be, let us just come out August 1st and show us the pressure with the current situation of the country. Don't let anybody deceive you with every foreign policy that is not for us. If it's not for you, it is not for you. Those policies are not for us, so we are the one to tell them that these policies are not for us. What is for us is where we are going to accept from the government. Come August 1st, every one of us is going to be free. If anybody wants to hijack, let the state come to hijack. When you push somebody, according to Yoruba, he said, when you beat a madman at a point, he will face you. There will be a time that the populace of Nigeria will come against the government. They won't be able to handle them. They're still doing, the state machineries are acting for the streets of the employee. But mind you, we still obey the people. When the people rise, the oppressor will. Thank you. All right, to take the replies. Okay. Let me appreciate the media for your presence here. You have the constitutional responsibility to do what you're doing right now. To report as it is, unbiased. You have the responsibility to be firstly on the side of the Nigerian people, because you represent the interests of the Nigerian people. And together, I want to believe that we shall make Nigeria great again. Thank you so much for coming around. Thank you, comments, and thank you for all the people that give us the hall to use, the organizations. Thank you so much. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Victory, there is victory for us. Victory, there is victory for us. In the struggle for our people, there is victory for us. Forward, ever. Backward, never. In the struggle for our people.